Welcome to Journey to Self, where we transform whispers of doubt into roars of freedom. This is your space to reclaim your voice, rediscover your power, and step boldly into the life you deserve. Let's dive in and awaken the unstoppable you. Welcome back. Today we're kicking off our new series, Becoming Visible, Reclaiming Your Worth in Your Second Spring. If you've ever felt unseen, like you're fading into the background, you are not alone. And let me be clear, you were never meant to disappear. Feeling invisible doesn't just start in adulthood. Many of us learn to shrink ourselves in childhood, being told to be nice, stay quiet, or not make a fuss. We carried those lessons into our careers, our relationships, and even our self-perception. But second spring isn't about blending in. It's about stepping into confidence and reclaiming your space. Before we dive into today's conversation, let's take a moment to pause and receive guidance from our intuitive moment. The card I pulled today is Lightning from my Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, and I can already feel the intensity of its message. Lightning is sudden, electric, and undeniable. It shatters the dark, illuminating everything in an instant. It is power in its purest form, raw, untamed, and transformative. Sometimes transformation happens slowly, like the turning of the seasons, but other times it strikes like lightning, a moment of truth, a realization you can't ignore, a sudden shift that leaves you forever changed. Think about your own life. Have you been waiting for a sign to move forward? Is there a truth you've been resisting, one that's been rumbling beneath the surface? Are you standing at the edge of a breakthrough, afraid of what happens next? Lightning doesn't ask for permission. It just is. It demands presence, clarity, and action. It doesn't whisper, it roars. The invitation of this card is to embrace the power of awakening. Let go of hesitation and allow clarity to strike. The medicine of this card reminds us we are being called into alignment with our destiny. This is not the time to play small. As we explore today's topic, stepping out of invisibility and into empowerment, let's carry the energy of lightning with us. What truth do you need to acknowledge today? What power within is waiting to be unleashed? And are you ready to embrace the change that's calling you forward? Let's step into that power, because once lightning strikes, there's no going back. So let's talk about how childhood shapes our visibility. Feeling invisible doesn't just happen one day. It's something we're taught. Think back to your childhood. Were you encouraged to express yourself, or were you told to not be too much? Did your achievements get noticed, or were you expected to quietly meet expectations? Were you praised for who you were, or only when you were helpful, quiet, or accommodating? Many of us absorbed the belief that our visibility was conditional, that we had to be useful to be seen, agreeable to be accepted, or pleasing to be loved. And now, in our second spring, we're feeling the impact. We hesitate to take up space in conversations. We doubt our own intuition. We feel like we've disappeared. But what if I told you that confidence isn't about changing who you are? It's about unlearning what dimmed your light. My personal story about learning to own my presence. I remember standing in a room full of people at an event and realizing no one was looking at me, not in a dismissive way, just in a non existent way. I felt like wallpaper. Many times I've described myself as a chameleon. I created that persona, I embraced it. But it was in that moment that I realized that I had trained myself to be invisible. If you've been around for a minute, you may have heard me describe myself as a chameleon, always just blending in. For years, I had softened my opinions, adjusted my body language, made myself easy to be around, but at what cost? And on some of that, a lot of that was because of my environment, or it was what I thought was expected of me. And sometimes was even overtly told that's what was expected. Confidence isn't about demanding attention. It's about owning your presence. And that's what I decided to do. The next time I walked into a room, I reminded myself, I'm allowed to be seen. My voice is valuable. I belong here. And you do too. So I want you to ask yourself, where did I first learn to shrink myself? How do I still make myself smaller today? What would stepping into confidence look like for me? If you have a journal, write down what comes up for you. Just notice, no judgment. There's a quote I love from Gloria Steinem, and it says, "Women may be the one group that grows more radical with age." Because here's the truth. The older we get, the less we care about approval. And that, my friends, that's power. So your empowerment action for this week, I want you to do one thing to own your space. Could be speaking up in a meeting or a conversation. Maybe it's walking into a room like you belong there. Or just wear something that makes you feel bold. You decide, what is that one thing that you want to do to own your space? And if you're ready to take this deeper, my Second Spring Awakening coaching program is all about rediscovering your confidence and reclaiming your worth. You'll find the link in the show notes. So let's talk about stepping into this new chapter together. You were never meant to disappear. I can't say that enough. Your confidence isn't gone. It's just waiting for you to step back into it. Next week, we're tackling how beauty and self-worth get tangled up in conditioning and how we can redefine them on our own terms. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend. Maybe somebody you know, and I'm sure you have somebody you know that needs this message. Thank you so much for joining me today. Make sure to hit that follow button so you get notified of new episodes. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to invite you to join me in my membership community, Journey to Self, The Awakening. It's a sacred space where we explore transformational healing, engage in monthly calls, and grow together. And if you'd like more tips, tools, and inspiration delivered straight to your inbox, be sure to subscribe to my mailing list. You'll find the links to both the community and the mailing list in the show notes. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. And until next time, be true to you.